Welcome to Manchester United, the Dean View, very first episode. This is a brand new podcast and it's going to be about everything to do with Manchester United. Obviously, as you can see from my shirt, if you're watching along on YouTube, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you're listening by Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you sit there and give us a follow as well. And feel free to get involved in the comments as well. It's the day of the opening day of the season. What am I on about? I'm so excited. I've literally just woken up. It's 10 past 2 in the morning. Currently in Perth, not Perth. What am I on about? That's where my mates are watching, in Perth. In Kalgoorlie, I'm tired. I'm excited though. The lineups, I haven't actually checked the lineups yet, but they are now live. I'm going to do my prediction of what I think the lineup is before we get into it. But I'm just going to talk about my predictions for the season, how I'm expecting United to be. Last year was a slog. After Ten Hag's first season, where it was actually quite good watching United, and we won a trophy, and then the form did tail off towards the end of 22-23. But, you can forgive him. First year, top three, won a trophy, and then last year, absolute shit show. The best way of describing it, I don't think I enjoyed watching it. In fact, it was like times, it was really frustrating because because I've been living in Australia and I was in London for the last 3 years prior to last year. It was the first year back not being in London, and I missed going to the football. Like, going to the football was like one of them things, like, you just love going to the football. I was hopping on the bus, a coach with the London branch Man United Supporters Club. The only thing I'd say about them is they are a bunch of damp squids, really. Like, when they talk about the prawn sandwich brigade, well, a lot of these guys used to go to the away games, but they just don't get excited on the bus like you would expect them to get excited on the bus. Like, I'm sitting there, I remember the first time I went there, up on the coach, and I was tanked. I'd bought like a bottle of vodka, and I'd finished it by the time we got off the bus in Manchester, and I walked into the Bishop's Blaze and I was in full voice, and I don't think anyone else on the bus was in like freaking first gear, let alone fifth gear, like I was. So yeah, look, what can I say? But it was a day out, day of the football. You go there, go to the Bishop's Blaze, drink 10 pints, go down to the ground, go down to the ground. Obviously, love the Stretford Paddock. Big shout out to them and the Promised Land. You guys do fantastic podcasts. So if it's anything like that, I'm just trying to provide the view from a fan that doesn't live, unfortunately, in like London or Manchester, but is actually doing this, waking up and foregoing sleep, and then just keep carrying on with their day, no matter win or lose. Quite often grumpy when we lose, and that last year was not a good year. Let's put it like that. So hopefully this year we go a lot better. Hopefully we can get off to a winning start. Man United have an amazing record on opening days. I think we actually have the best opening day record of any team in the Premier League. So that's something to get excited about. Last year, let's not talk about how the game at home went against Fulham, but if we want to quickly revisit it, it ended up pretty boring. We lost the game 2-1. Fulham took the lead. We did nothing for most of the game. We finally got a goal, and then we threw it away to Alex Iwobi in injury time, and Fulham won the game 2-1. Now, lots has happened over the summer. Obviously, we've had the Euros and the Copa America. Licha and Garnacho have obviously won the Copa America. Thankfully, they weren't involved in the nonsense that was on the bus. They were the two that weren't involved, honestly. You couldn't see them in the video, so as far as I'm concerned, they weren't doing it. Being a United fan, exonerated. Moving on from that, England, unfortunately, Cobby, very close to winning a tournament with England in his very first try, but unfortunately, again, he just, I don't know, they just couldn't quite do it. Southgate really just never really looked like winning a trophy, did he? He was that nearly man, the man that got close but really couldn't really do anything else but lose and fail miserably. No. Look, well done, Southgate. He did make England entertaining to watch again, and I've had some great time supporting England over the last 4 or 5 years, particularly when I was in London. Man, there's some of the parties we went to, absolutely banging, I'm telling you. But yeah, unfortunately, he just couldn't get the job done. Now, there's been some massive news over the off-summer. We have had Ten Hag has survived, but literally his backroom staff have just disappeared. So we lost bloody Bernie McCarthy, Van der Vag, and some other blokes. And Steve McLaren, unfortunately, he is now left as well. He's gone up to take up the national role with, I don't know, some African team, I think, from memory. I did read this. I should know more of that, but I haven't really been cared about it. So we've got in Rene Hake, a new goalkeeping coach, and the man, my man, the dude that looks like me. The D Unit is your show host. But I'm telling you, if you're looking at me on YouTube, you're probably sitting there going, that is Ruud van Nistelrooy in the flesh. It's not. I'm not Dutch, obviously, but every time I went to the Bishop's Bays, everyone would always think, hey, that's Ruud van Nistelrooy. I come up and literally get photos. The main difference is he's a lot taller. He's, I think, 6'3". I am 5'11", so significantly shorter. And I need to get those glasses, man. He looks so sophisticated in those glasses. It's absolutely mad. Now, there's been lots of moves over the off-season. We have said goodbye to a lot of players. Like a lot of players. Unfortunately, we've only brought in a few players. And we've been linked with a number of other players leaving. Unfortunately, at the moment, they haven't all left. So we're just going to use Transfer Market for this so I don't miss out on anyone, because obviously there are some players that, I have probably missed. So the players that have left so far are Mason Greenwood to Marseille for 26 million euros. These are in euros, not in pounds. Aaron Wan-Bissaka to West Ham this week, 17.6 million euros. Willy Cambuala for 10 million euros to Villarreal. Alvaro Caceres, no idea who that is. Oh, that's Fernandez. His last name's Fernandez. I was like, oh, that must be his actual name. But that's the left back that never actually made a start for United. He went to Benfica for 6 million euros. Donny van der Beek went for 500,000 euros. So not much. Girona, but there are some add-ons in that I think that make it a little better. Omari Forson left on a free transfer to Monza. Rafael Varane left on a free transfer to Como. Anthony Martial left the club, has not got a new club yet. Brandon Williams has also left the club, has not got a new club yet. Now, the 4 players we've bought in so far: Lenny Yoro for 62 million euros. Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich for 45 million euros. Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna, 42.5 million euros. And Nozoai Mazoral, I probably said that wrong, sorry mate. Bayern Munich for 15 million euros. He is literally a direct replacement for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I actually think the signings so far have been absolutely fantastic. I can't see how none of them are going to go poorly. My only question is, why is Zirkzee not already in the playing? Like, why wasn't he in the Community Shield? If, Lisandro Martinez and Garnacho could come in after like a week's worth of training, why was Zirkzee not included and come off the bench? And instead, Palestri came on. Doesn't make much sense to me. But hey, look, he's obviously easing him in. He's, obviously just waiting. They're all good signings. They're all good age profile in comparison to previous years where we were just signing people like Casemiro for like stupid amount of money with no sell-on value. All these guys, even if it doesn't work out, they're all still going to be able to be sold because they're all still going to be quite young, even if it gets to the end of their contracts. The oldest of them is obviously Mazoral. He's, I think, 26 and de Ligt is 25, but Yoro is 18 and clearly going to be a world superstar even before he just did his metatarsal, which is exceptionally unfortunate. And now news has come out that apparently they even picked that up in the medical. Says a lot about United and the injuries. After last year, we had so many injuries. How many injuries can you afford to have in the Premier League and get away with it? Who knows? But hopefully Matthias de Ligt can fill in that point. And I'm actually really hopeful about the fact that hopefully between him and Lisandro Martinez, we can create a centre-back pairing that can actually pass the ball and will provide a good shield in front of Onana. So hopefully we eradicate some of the mistakes with all the extra shots he's having. But yeah, let's talk about pre-season and what we've learnt. So the pre-season results actually weren't that flash. I got up to watch most of the games. Just at the games in pre-season were actually a really good time. Considering they're in the United States, you can actually wake up here at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and the games would just be on and you'd be sweet. Like, that's good. I don't mind having to do that. Having to wake up for 3 a.m. kickoffs and not watch good football is really hard work. So hopefully this year when I wake up, like I have today, first day of the season, I'm excited. The sleep has just come off. I'm ready to go. Hopefully the boys are too. So we played 1-0. So our first preseason game was 1-0 loss to Rosenborg. Which Ten Hag then came out and criticised the players, which I thought was a bit rough. I mean, like, it's literally the first game and you had no preparation and they were halfway through their season. So that was unfortunate. They won 2-0 against Rangers. In that game, Ahmed scored and Joe Hugel. That was 2-0. They then played Arsenal, which was a dubious game, and I've seen some poor refereeing, but the refereeing in the States games was absolutely disgusting, how bad it was. It's the best way of describing it, really. So Arsenal actually won that game 2-1. Rasmus Højlund scored in the 10th minute, then got injured, and then it threw off our entire first half because then we played Medbury up front and it looked crap, truth be told. Gabriel Jesus scored an offside goal, and then Gabriel Martinelli scored a good goal. So it really should have been 1-0, but it finished 2-1. We then played Betis in our next club friendly, and that game was a good game. We had Rashford score a penalty, followed by Ahmad scoring again. Casemiro scored, and that was all in the first half an hour. Casemiro scored in the 31st minute. And it was 3-1 at half time. We did concede a couple of goals in this game, but the second goal was when the second string were out there and Llorente scored for Betis in the second half. That was definitely our best result and one of only 2 wins. We then played Liverpool, 3-0 loss. Now, I don't actually know how we lost that game 3-0 because we dominated the chances. And if I just quickly pull up the statistics from that game, we had 18 shots to 9 and we had 8 on target and no goals, and they had 5 for 3. It's safe to say Liverpool got away and won there. I don't see them doing that when they come to Old Trafford in a few weeks' time, but we will see. And then obviously after that, we had the Community Shield last weekend where Garnacho scored, and then some familiar looking frailties occurred when we conceded right before, like literally in injury time. It gave you reminders from last year where we literally shipped so many points and lost so many points and turned wins into losses, wins into draws and draws into losses from last year. That's essentially what we watched there, and that's what we watched again, because then they somehow lost on penalties and then Arnold was doing some funny antics. He also did some funny antics in the Arsenal game, which also had a penalty shootout. We won that one. But yeah, it's safe to say I don't think if he gets a penalty that he should be showing him which way to go, because it just didn't work in either of the penalty shootouts I've worked. He didn't save any of the ones where he did that. The ones that he actually saved are the ones where he just went at it normally. And I think that that's probably what he needs to do moving forward. Now, obviously, the one real omission that we've looked at here is the fact that we've still got players that really shouldn't be playing at the club. Like Lindelof, into his last year of his contract, ship him off, mate. Like, see you later. If you haven't got the hint now, we've signed 2 centre-backs. Harry Maguire, almost in the same boat. Like, we've kept Johnny Evans around for a reason, so we can ship you 2 off. Look, they probably need to go, realistically. They've both been really good servants to the club, but they're just not really going to take us to the next level at this point. Looking at the next bit of the team, Casemiro, he's shown upticks in form, and the one glaring omission we have in the squad at the moment is that we haven't sold Scott McTominay, we haven't sold Sancho, we've still got the encumbrance of Antony, who God knows what we're ever going to do with him. And look, the right wing position has just been an absolute shit show. So hopefully Ahmad can just come in and take it with 2 hands. It's going to be really interesting. I'll get to my starting lineup in a little bit, and then we'll look at what the actual starting lineup is. But it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses. In the midfield, Toby Collier has looked amazing in pre-season, and I would not be surprised if he gets more minutes. I expect him to be on the bench tonight and probably come on for his... I don't know if he's made his Premier League debut yet, but he's definitely in line to make it at some point this evening, I would suggest. The other kid that had really impressed me during the pre-season was Harry Amas at left back for 17 years old. Luke Shaw, who again has come back from England duty during the Euros and is injured again. Like, how can you be injured again? You would think that after you haven't played for United since February and you go to the Euros and you get fit, instead of going on holiday, maybe the best idea, considering you've wasted that much amount of time as it is actually just come back and make sure you stay fit. That's what I would have thought would have been the best way of looking after yourself. Instead, you come back and you do a calf. So now you're out for the first 3 weeks of the season, leading into the next international break. And then we know how ropeable Luke Shaw's body is. For me, he's almost in the firing line. I'd just ship him off. See whatever fee you can get rid of him. His injury record is no good. And he's a brilliant player on his day, but on his day is not enough. And last year, we seen what happened. We just didn't have a left back pretty much all year, and it looked like an absolute shit show. So, look, hopefully that can be sorted. Mazaral apparently can play left and right footed, and apparently he's good going forward. So hopefully he's going to start at left back tonight. Or Harry Mass gets a go. I don't want to see Lisandro Martinez at left back. It didn't look good in the Community Shield, and I think that would be an absolute. It'd just be a place where Fulham can just attack us tonight, and I don't think that's a good idea. So, obviously, the one glaring omission is we haven't bought a midfielder, and I think we clearly do need to buy a midfielder. We've been linked with Manuel Ngate from PSG. I'm not sold on him, especially for the prices being quoted. I think because they have signed a midfielder, you could hold out for them to sell at a cheaper price because they actually don't want him. And normally if you don't want a player after a year, it's not normally a good sign. We have been linked with other names as well, like Sander Berg from Burnley. Again, they're trying to quote us some ridiculous money, even though they're in the Championship. I think, mate, if you're in the Championship and your player wants to go, he's probably going. So, yeah, got to keep that in mind. I just don't know I think the biggest loss actually from the transfer window so far that we've sold is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Like, his 1v1 defending is amazing. And I actually think for West Ham, and like my partner is a West Ham fan, and they are like kind of my second team by default because of the fact that, and Jesse Lingard played for West Ham, and I'm telling you, I'm a massive fan of that guy. A massive baller. Him and Fellaini, here he is, his little Fellaini, they're two of my favourite players. You can ask my mates what it was like when Fellaini and Lingard were on FIFA. I literally could dominate any person with those two players, and they were rated like 80. And you just knew as soon as they got the ball, they would score. It was like inevitable. You could just hear it coming. But throughout this podcast at different times, I will be like just doing random stuff and going off on ad hoc stories that relate back to United as well. So there you go. They're definitely going to feature because they are two of my favourite players. And not everyone loves them as a United fan. So yeah, they've got their niche sort of audience, and I'm their niche sort of audience. Other big news to come out of the preseason is Bruno Fernandes has signed a new deal. So that's really good. They're probably bringing him in line with Rashford, who's definitely earning money that he shouldn't be earning at the moment, and Casemiro. I mean, Bruno is our best player, so in theory, he should be the one that gets paid the most. I actually quite like our kits this season. I think the home kit is a bit weird with like the bright red stripes that go down the sides. But the third kit, with the white third kit, I think looks sick. Like the retro looking kit, that's mad. I actually want to get that shirt, so I probably will. And I actually quite like the dark blue as well. The dark blue looks absolutely mint. So we've got one of the better shirts this year. The other thing that I would also like us to see, especially if we can sell a few more players, and look, Sancho, it's great to have him back, but I just don't think Ten Hag rates him. So really, I don't know. I think you're better off still trying to sell him and get someone new in. I mean, the disappointing thing is, and like this is a bit controversial, but I've always been a believer of if you haven't been done for anything, then you're innocent until you are proven. And like Mason Greenwood, it's going to be really annoying seeing him play for Marseille and knowing that we've got rid of him for like pittance, really. The dude could have been amazing. Just think about what his career could have been. He would have been the perfect forward for us to get in. They could score goals. I mean, yeah. But as it is, you can only hope that, he does well for Marseille and they carry on. United obviously inserted a massive sell-on clause, so hopefully, we do get some more money out of him at some point as well. Because I do think hopefully he does recover. Hopefully he's woken up to what he did, how it was wrong, and he moves on. And we wish him all the best as a United fan. So the couple of things that do concern me is Ten Hag in his press conference said Manchester United are not ready for Fulham. Well, You've spent the last 3 weeks on pre-season. Surely you must be ready. Fulham are Fulham. They sold their best players. If we can't beat them first game of the season, we're in absolute trouble. So we need to hit the ground running. We don't have the easiest fixtures in the world to begin with. So we've got Fulham at home, which in theory our opening day games should be... We've got a great history. So I've got no concerns really about Fulham. But then we got Brighton away. And Brighton away, we have struggled the last few years. And honestly, that's a banana skin of a game. Hopefully, if we go there and we're two games to none and we're 6 points on the board after next Saturday, I think I'll be pretty bloody happy. And then we've obviously got Liverpool at home on Sunday the 1st. Now, I expect us to sign a few more players before that game. And that is also the first game before the September international break and also before my birthday, which is on the 2nd. So hopefully we can get us a win because the game starts at 11 p.m. on the 1st and we'll finish on my birthday at 1 a.m. for me. So I tell you, it's either going to be the perfect birthday present or it's going to be the worst birthday present. So we'll see. It'll be one or the other. And then obviously... Yeah, but then after the international break, we've got Southampton away, Crystal Palace away. Should be 2 wins. Then we've got Tottenham at home. They're Spurs. So that's all you have to say to that. They're Spurs. And then we've got the Aston Villa away, which will be a tough game. And then we're looking ahead to December. We've got Arsenal and Man City. Realistically, where do I think we're going to finish this year? I have thought about it. I love the Stretford Paddock, man. They did all their predictions, so I'm just going to sit there and go with who I think will finish like at the top. I really hope Arsenal pit Man City because I can't stand Man City and I can't stand Arsenal fans. But of the two, I'd pick Arsenal because I'm sick of seeing City win. I think United could potentially finish third. We could be lucky and we get even better with our signings and we just gel quicker and we defend better and hopefully we score more goals. Hopefully Ruven Nisori coming in will equal us scoring more goals because that's really what we need. I think Liverpool probably sneak into the 4th spot. Then it's probably Tottenham. Then it's a real toss-up. I think Aston Villa will probably finish 6th. I think they'll struggle a little bit. There'll be a little bit of drop-off there. Newcastle finish 7th. West Ham, though, I think could be up there. So I think I'm going to put them in 8th. They've made some amazing signings. And then Chelsea. I just don't know what's going on with that club. Yeah, really hard to work them out. I think then probably Crystal Palace. And then the rest, man. Who gives a shit about the rest, really? Brighton and Hove, Brentford, Bournemouth, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich down. I hope they do well. I hope they stay up. Kieran McKenna looked like he played some great football in the Championship. Hopefully he continues to do that in the Premier League, but we'll have to wait and see. So looking forward to tonight. The lineup I hope I see tonight. Mason Mount's played really well, and I think he's going to start with Rashford. So I just think that I think Ahmed's going to miss out, but I hope he doesn't. So I really hope we line up like this: Onana in goal, left back Mazzaral, centre back De Ligt on the right hand side, and Martinez on the left hand side. Dalot at right back. Then I think it'll be Casemiro and Mainu, and then on the left, I'm hoping this is how we line up. On the left, I'm hoping it's Garnacho. On the right, hopefully it's Ahmad. And then Bruno Fernandes behind Marcus Rashford. I'd happily trade out Marcus Rashford for Mason Mount and see how that goes. So now that I've done the lineup, I'm now actually going to check what Man United have actually gone with. So let's have a look. Where's the Fulham game? There we go. And just clicking on the lineups now. Let's have a look. All right, doesn't look like they've actually got the... Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, Garnacho has missed out. All right, so he's not in the starting lineup, and neither is De Ligt. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so the big news is that United are lining up in a 1-4-2-3-1 according to what I've got in front of me. So we've got Mazzaral. He does make his United debut at left back. We've got Martinez and Maguire partnering him at centre back, and then we've got Dalot on the right back. Onana obviously in goal. Maino and Casemiro in the centre of midfield. Then we've got Rashford on the left. Ahmad gets his start on the right. Fantastic. I've got him in my fantasy Premier League team, so I'm very excited that he started because I got rid of Garnacho last second for him, and he is starting, but unfortunately he's on my bench, so hopefully he doesn't go too ham, but hopefully he does, so that way his price goes up. And then we've got Mount in behind Fernandez. Looks like Fernandez is going to play the false nine. On the bench, we have Joshua Zirkzee, Scott McTominay, Anthony, Johnny Evans, Christian Eriksen, Alejandro Garnacho, Altai Bayender, Matthias de Ligt, and Toby Collier. So a solid bench there. We hopefully will see United debuts for de Ligt and Zirkzee. In fact, hopefully we don't see a debut for de Ligt, but we probably will. He's probably just not quite ready and they want to ease him in. Hopefully we'll see him next week against Brighton, but yeah, probably solid from Ten Hag. Great starting lineup. Leading into Fulham. Fulham have Leno in goals, Robbins to the left back. He's also on my fantasy team. He should be good. Bassi and Joho in centre back. Tete at right back. Then they've got Pereira and Lukic in centre midfield. Awobi on the left flank. Traore on the right flank. Smith Rowe in behind Muniz. So they've got a full debut there for Smith Rowe as well. And the Fulham bench is Stephen Brender, George Quensa, Harry Wilson, Harrison Reed, Raul Jimenez, Josh King, Timothy Castagna, Tom Kearney, and Jay Stansfield. My prediction here, early doors. We will check back in tomorrow, see how we go. But hopefully United get off to a fly here. Our Premier League days, our Premier League opening days in recent times at home have included in 2021-22, we smashed Leeds 5-1. I remember that game. Absolutely amazing game of football that was. In 2019 and 20, we smashed Chelsea 4-0. Against Leicester, we won 2-1. Against West Ham back in 2017-18, we won 4-0. In 2015-16, we beat Tottenham 1-0. 2010-11, we beat Newcastle 3-0. And the last time we played Fulham on the opening day at Old Trafford, it was 5-1 in 2006, 2007, when no one thought United were going to be any chance to win the league that year. They came out and smacked Fulham game one. And guess who won the league? It was Manchester United. Now, hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can get off to a flyer. I'm definitely the eternal optimist. Come on, United. Let's get that win. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll give my reaction post-game and I'll do one of these each week just to bring you all things United, all the news, all the opinions, and my personal opinion. But come on, United. Let's go. Let's get that 3 points. Let's smack Fulham for 6. All right. D-Unit out.